What if I told you that one stolen bicycle changed the life of a young boy forever? What if that angry 12-year-old would grow into the greatest boxer the world had ever seen? And what if the man who called himself the greatest would risk his career, his fortune, and even his freedom for what he believed was right? This is not only the story of a champion. It is a journey of courage, sacrifice, determination, and unshakable faith. To understand how Muhammad Ali became one of the most influential athletes in history, we must travel back to Louisville, Kentucky, where an ordinary boy began an extraordinary journey. Welcome to English Orbit, where history, biographies, mysteries, and unforgettable true stories come alive through simple and engaging English. Every story on this channel is carefully designed to improve your listening, vocabulary, pronunciation, and comprehension while taking you on an inspiring journey through history. If you enjoy learning English through powerful storytelling, make sure to subscribe and become part of our growing learning community. Now, let's travel back to the United States in the 1940s and discover the incredible story of Muhammad Ali, the boy who dared to dream. A humble beginning. On January 17, 1942, a baby boy was born in Louisville, Kentucky, in the United States. His parents named him Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. No one could have imagined that this cheerful child would one day become one of the most famous athletes in history. His father, Cassius Clay Sr., worked as a sign painter. His mother, Odessa Clay, was a caring and hard-working woman who devoted herself to raising her children. Life was not easy for the family. Although they worked hard, they often struggled financially. Even more difficult was the reality of racial segregation in America. At that time, African Americans were treated unfairly in many parts of the country. They faced discrimination in schools, restaurants, buses, and many public places. Young Cassius experienced this injustice from an early age. He did not fully understand why people judged others by the color of their skin, but he knew it was wrong. Those early experiences would later shape the man he would become. The bicycle that changed everything. When Cassius was 12 years old, something happened that completely changed his life. One afternoon, he proudly rode his brand new red bicycle to a local fair. He enjoyed the rides, the music, and the excitement. But when he returned, his bicycle was gone. Someone had stolen it. Cassius became furious. He wanted to find the thief immediately. As he searched, he met a local police officer named Joe Martin. The young boy angrily told the officer, "If I find the person who stole my bike, I'm going to beat him up." Joe Martin smiled. Instead of laughing at the boy's anger, he gave him unexpected advice. "If you want to fight someone," he said, "you should first learn how to box." Those simple words changed history. Martin also trained young boxers at a local gym. He invited Cassius to attend his first boxing lesson. The angry boy accepted. Without realizing it, the loss of one bicycle had opened the door to an extraordinary future. Discovering his talent. The first days inside the boxing gym were not easy. Cassius was young. He had little experience. Many older boys were stronger. But something immediately became clear. He possessed remarkable speed. His feet moved quickly. His reflexes were exceptional. And perhaps most importantly, he loved competition. Every practice made him more determined. He trained longer than many other boys. He carefully listened to his coach. He constantly searched for ways to improve. While others rested, Cassius continued practicing. He believed hard work could defeat natural talent. Slowly, the young boy began winning amateur boxing matches. Each victory increased his confidence. Each defeat taught him valuable lessons. His dream continued growing. One day, he wanted to become the greatest boxer in the world. confidence like no one else. Even as a teenager, Cassius believed in himself. While many athletes quietly hoped for success, he announced it proudly. He often told reporters, "I am going to be the greatest." Some people laughed. Others thought he was arrogant. But Cassius understood something important. Confidence begins inside your own mind. If you do not believe in yourself, why should anyone else? His confidence became one of his greatest strengths. It motivated him to train harder, dream bigger, and refuse to accept defeat. Over time, the world would discover that his bold words were supported by extraordinary skill. The road to the Olympics. By the late 1950s, Cassius Clay had become one of America's most promising young amateur boxers. He won local championships, then state competitions. Soon, he was competing against the best young fighters in the country. Every victory brought him closer to an even bigger dream: representing the United States at the Olympic Games. Training became more intense. His daily routine demanded complete discipline: early mornings, long workouts, careful eating, hours of practice. While many teenagers enjoyed free time with friends, Cassius focused on one goal: winning Olympic gold. His determination inspired everyone around him. His coaches admired his work ethic. His family supported his dream. Now, the greatest opportunity of his young life was approaching. Rome 1960. In 1960, the Summer Olympic Games were held in Rome, Italy. Only 18 years old, Cassius Clay proudly wore the uniform of the United States. Athletes from around the world gathered to compete. Every match brought enormous pressure. But Cassius remained calm. His speed amazed spectators. His quick footwork confused opponents. His confidence never disappeared. Fight after fight, he advanced through the tournament. Finally, he reached the gold medal match. Millions watched. The young American boxer performed brilliantly. When the final bell rang, Cassius Clay had become the Olympic light heavyweight champion. He proudly stood on the podium as the American flag was raised. A gold medal hung around his neck. For many athletes, this would have been the greatest achievement of a lifetime. For Cassius, it was only the beginning. A new challenge. After returning home from Rome, Cassius Clay faced an important decision. Should he remain an amateur champion, or become a professional boxer? Professional boxing offered fame, money, and the opportunity to fight the very best athletes in the world. But it also demanded greater sacrifice, stronger opponents, longer training, and constant public attention. Cassius accepted the challenge. He signed his first professional contract. From that moment forward, every fight would move him closer to history, or farther away from his dream. No one could predict what would happen next. But one thing had become certain. A fearless young boxer from Louisville was preparing to challenge the greatest fighters on earth. And before long, the entire world would know his name. The champion who sacrificed everything. The fight that shocked the world. When we left Cassius Clay, he had just won Olympic gold and entered professional boxing. He was young, fast, confident, and determined to become the heavyweight champion of the world. But standing in his way was a man many believed was impossible to defeat. His name was Sonny Liston. Liston was feared across the boxing world. He was bigger, stronger, and far more experienced than the 22-year-old challenger. Most experts predicted the fight would end quickly. Some even believed Clay would be seriously injured. Newspapers mocked his confidence. Sports writers laughed at his bold predictions. But Cassius refused to doubt himself. Again and again, he repeated the same words: "I am the greatest." To many people, it sounded like arrogance. To Cassius, it was belief. a night that changed boxing forever. On February 25, 1964, millions of people watched as Cassius Clay entered the boxing ring to face Sonny Liston. The atmosphere was electric. Very few expected an upset. The opening round surprised everyone. Clay moved with incredible speed. His footwork was unlike anything the heavyweight division had ever seen. He danced around Liston, avoided powerful punches, and landed quick combinations. By the later rounds, Liston looked exhausted. Then something unbelievable happened. Before the seventh round began, Sonny Liston refused to continue. The referee declared Cassius Clay the winner. At just 22 years old, he had become the heavyweight champion of the world. The impossible had become reality. The young man who once dreamed inside a small boxing gym had reached the top of the sport. A new name. A new identity. Only days after winning the championship, Cassius Clay made another announcement that surprised the world. He revealed that he had joined the Nation of Islam, a religious and social movement. Soon afterward, he announced that he would no longer use the name Cassius Clay. Instead, he chose a new name, Muhammad Ali. He explained that Cassius Clay was a name connected to the history of slavery. He wanted a name that reflected his faith and identity. Many people refused to accept the change. Some newspapers continued using his old name. Even some sports commentators ignored his request. But Ali stood firm. "My name is Muhammad Ali," he said repeatedly. He believed every person had the right to choose their own identity. It was another example of his willingness to stand for his beliefs, even when the world disagreed. A champion inside and outside the ring. As Muhammad Ali continued defending his title, his popularity grew around the world. His boxing style was unlike any heavyweight before him. He moved quickly, spoke confidently, and entertained crowds with clever poems and predictions before every fight. He famously described his style with one unforgettable sentence: "Flowed like a butterfly, sting like a bee." Fans admired his speed, his confidence, and his ability to back up every bold statement inside the ring. Fight after fight, Ali defeated some of the best boxers in the world. He was no longer just a champion. He had become an international superstar. The Vietnam War. While Ali's boxing career reached incredible heights, the United States was becoming deeply involved in the Vietnam War. Thousands of young American men were drafted into military service. Eventually, Muhammad Ali received his draft notice. The government expected him to join the army. But Ali made a decision that would change his life forever. He refused. Ali explained that his religious beliefs and personal conscience would not allow him to fight in the war. His decision created one of the biggest controversies in sports history. Some people praised his courage. Others criticized him harshly. Many believed he should have served like everyone else. Ali knew the consequences. But he refused to change his position. The price of conviction. In 1967, Muhammad Ali officially refused induction into the U.S. Army. The consequences came quickly. He was convicted in court. His boxing license was suspended in many states. His heavyweight championship was taken away. He was banned from professional boxing during what should have been the best years of his career. Almost overnight, the world's greatest boxer could no longer compete. He lost millions of dollars. He lost opportunities. He lost years that no athlete could ever recover. Many people wondered why he would sacrifice everything. Ali's answer remained simple. He believed that some principles were more valuable than fame or money, whether people agreed with him or not. Few could deny the courage it took to accept such enormous consequences. Years away from the ring. For more than 3 years, Muhammad Ali could not fight professionally. Instead of boxing, He traveled across the United States. He gave speeches at universities. He spoke about justice, equality, faith, and personal responsibility. Although he missed boxing deeply, he never apologized for following his conscience. Slowly, public opinion began to change. Many people who had once criticized him started respecting his determination. They realized that Ali had sacrificed his career for beliefs he genuinely held. His courage outside the ring became almost as famous as his victories inside it. A champion returns. In 1970, Muhammad Ali finally received permission to return to professional boxing. The world welcomed him back. But everything had changed. He was older. His reflexes were slightly slower. And a new generation of talented fighters had appeared. Many experts believed Ali would never become champion again. They argued that losing more than 3 years of competition had ended his greatest days. Ali smiled. He had heard people doubt him before. And every time, he found another way to prove them wrong. His greatest challenge was still waiting. A powerful champion named Joe Frazier stood between Ali and the title he had lost. The next chapter of Muhammad Ali's life would become even more dramatic than the first. The battles ahead would test not only his strength, the fight of the century. When we left Muhammad Ali, he had finally returned to boxing after more than 3 years away from the ring. But the world had changed. A new heavyweight champion had emerged. His name was Joe Frazier. Like Ali, Frazier was undefeated, strong, fearless, and determined to prove he was the greatest. Their rivalry quickly became one of the biggest stories in sports history. Newspapers covered every word. Television stations broadcast every interview. Millions of fans argued over one question: who was the true heavyweight champion? On March 8, 1971, the two men finally met inside the ring at Madison Square Garden in New York. The event became known as the Fight of the Century. The atmosphere was unforgettable. Both fighters entered undefeated. Neither wanted to lose. For 15 brutal rounds, they exchanged powerful punches. The crowd watched in complete silence. Near the end of the fight, Frazier landed a devastating left hook that knocked Ali to the canvas. Ali stood up before the referee finished counting. He refused to surrender. But when the final bell rang, the judges awarded the victory to Joe Frazier. For only the first time in his professional career, Muhammad Ali had been defeated. Defeat did not define him. Many athletes struggle after their first major defeat. Some lose confidence. Others retire. Muhammad Ali did neither. Instead, he returned to training with even greater determination. He studied every mistake, improved his technique, strengthened his body, and reminded himself that one loss could never erase years of success. Ali often said that champions are not made when everything is easy. They are revealed when life becomes difficult. His greatest victories still lay ahead. The Rumble in the Jungle. In 1974, another enormous challenge appeared. Ali would fight the undefeated heavyweight champion, George Foreman. Foreman seemed unstoppable. He had defeated almost every opponent with incredible power. Most boxing experts believed Ali had little chance of winning. The fight took place in Kinshasa, then part of Zaire. It became famous around the world as the Rumble in the Jungle. Thousands of people filled the stadium. Millions more watched on television. The world expected another knockout victory for Foreman. Instead, Muhammad Ali surprised everyone. Rope-a-dope. Rather than attacking immediately, Ali leaned against the ropes and allowed Foreman to throw punch after punch. Many spectators believed Ali was making a terrible mistake. But it was all part of a carefully planned strategy. Later, the world would call it the rope-a-dope. Foreman gradually became exhausted. His powerful punches consumed enormous energy. Ali patiently waited, round after round. Then, in the 8th round, Ali suddenly attacked. A combination of fast, accurate punches sent Foreman crashing to the canvas. The referee counted. Foreman could not continue. Muhammad Ali had regained the heavyweight championship. Against all expectations, the man many believed was finished had once again become world champion. The victory became one of the greatest upsets in sports history. The Thrilla in Manila. Ali's rivalry with Joe Frazier was not over. In 1975, they met for a third and final time in the Philippines. The fight became known as the Thrilla in Manila. It was one of the most exhausting contests ever seen inside a boxing ring. The heat was unbearable. Both fighters suffered tremendous pain. Neither wanted to quit. Round after round, they continued exchanging punches. After the 14th round, Frazier's trainer stopped the fight to protect his boxer. Muhammad Ali was declared the winner. Later, Ali admitted that it was the closest he had ever come to dying inside the ring. It was a victory earned through incredible courage and determination. More than a champion. As the years passed, Muhammad Ali became much more than a boxer. He traveled across the world. He met presidents, kings, children, charity organizations, and ordinary families. Wherever he went, people admired not only his athletic ability, but also his kindness and generosity. He often visited hospitals, supported humanitarian causes, and inspired young people to believe in themselves. His message remained simple: confidence, faith, hard work, and courage. Those qualities mattered more than fame or money. A new battle. In 1981, Muhammad Ali retired from professional boxing. He had achieved almost everything an athlete could dream of. But life had prepared another challenge. A challenge that could not be defeated with punches. Only a few years after retirement, Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The illness gradually affected his movement. His speech became slower. His hands often trembled. Many people expected the once powerful champion to disappear from public life. Instead, Ali faced the disease with remarkable courage. He continued meeting fans, supporting charities, and encouraging people living with illness and disability. Even when his body became weaker, his spirit remained incredibly strong. A moment the world will never forget. In 1996, the Summer Olympic Games were held in Atlanta. During the opening ceremony, millions watched as Muhammad Ali stepped onto the stage carrying the Olympic torch. His hand shook because of Parkinson's disease. The stadium became completely silent. Slowly, carefully, Ali lifted the torch. Then he lit the Olympic flame. The crowd erupted into applause. Many spectators had tears in their eyes. It became one of the most emotional moments in Olympic history. The world was no longer celebrating only a boxer. It was honoring a man whose courage had inspired generations. Farewell to the greatest. On June 3, 2016, Muhammad Ali passed away at the age of 74. Tributes came from every corner of the world. Athletes honored him. World leaders praised him. Millions of ordinary people remembered the champion who had inspired them to believe in themselves. His funeral was watched by people from many different countries, religions, and cultures. Although he was no longer alive, his influence remained stronger than ever. Because legends never truly disappear. They live on through the lives they inspire. Lessons from Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali's story teaches us unforgettable lessons. First, believe in yourself before asking the world to believe in you. Ali's confidence began long before he became champion. Second, stand for your principles, even when the price is high. Ali sacrificed years of his career because he refused to abandon his beliefs. Third, failure is never the end. Every defeat became another opportunity to return stronger. And finally, true greatness is not measured only by trophies. The story of Muhammad Ali is far more than the story of boxing. It is the story of a young boy whose stolen bicycle led him to a boxing gym. A fearless champion who shocked the world. A man who sacrificed fame for his beliefs. And a humanitarian who inspired millions through courage, compassion, and hope. His words, his victories, and his determination continue to motivate people across the world. As Muhammad Ali once reminded us, impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. If you enjoyed learning English through this inspiring historical journey, don't forget to support English Orbit. Subscribe for more historical biographies, documentaries, mysteries, and true stories told in simple and engaging English. Until our next journey, keep learning, keep growing, and never stop believing in yourself. Thank you for watching.